Well, I've got some bad news for Subnautica fans, and I know a lot of people have wish-listed Subnautica 2, and we're expecting it to come out relatively soon, but it appears that that is not going to happen. And I would, normally we'd go after the developers saying, what the hell are you doing? Why isn't the game out yet? Why are you doing all these terrible things? But it seems like for once we get to say it's the publisher's fault and that they're doing the terrible shitty things that we would normally yell at the devs for. But this time it appears to be the publishers. We haven't had something like this happen since Sony decided it's region locking in Helldivers 2. That absolutely murdered that game, but this time it's going to be with Subnautica here. So if you're not familiar with Subnautica, it's a survival crafting set in water worlds where you just kind of try and do your best to survive and not drown and get eaten by sharks. Now, it seems pretty boring, but I gotta say I genuinely enjoy this Subnautica game. Subnautica 1's definitely better. I hated when the developers changed the entire storyline of Subnautica 2, and I enjoyed the original version better, but that's not what this video is about. This time it's about the terrible publishers absolutely destroying this game. So we're gonna start with Rock Paper Shotgun here, and go over the brief news here. For those who are new to the drama, Subnautica 2 is one of the most wish-listed games on Steam. A couple of weeks ago, 3 senior management folks at the studio Unknown Worlds were kicked out and replaced by the head of another Crafton-owned studio. So what essentially happened is these guys said, we want to go to early access, we're ready for this, we've got enough in the game that we can push it out, start making money, and just release the updates. And the publisher said, no, you're fired.
What? What the fuck?
I know what you're thinking. You're like, why would the publisher say, no, it's not ready? Why would you say you can't do that? Why would you not want to make money off of early access on an extremely well-lit, wish-listed game? And the reason is actually quite simple. A $250 million payout that Unknown World employees would receive if a release game sold sufficient copies by the end of 2025. There it is, folks. The publishers offered a bonus for finishing or at least getting the game to a playable state to put on Steam early, and guess who was on track to do it? The developers themselves. So what does the publisher do when they say, oh shit, we don't want to pay you guys? We want to keep that money for ourselves? They fire the entire staff and tell them, no, you're not going to do it. You're going to wait till next year. That is exactly what did. And of course, the publisher's trying to cover that to say it's not really happening, but we do actually have leaks. We have leaks from the developers themselves and the publisher about what's actually going on here. Now, of course, this is Reddit, so take it with a grain of salt because Reddit is an awful hive of scum and villainy, but you can see like the final recommendations for purposes for launch, blah, 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 blah. Here's what they got for targeted launch. Oop, nope, I want you, just the picture. There we go. So, I mean, you can see over each year, they've got what they want to accomplish, what they want to get done, how many points of interest, the number of creatures. You can see they removed some things, 2 biomes removed, but you can see the coral gardens, sparse plains, kelp forest, vap hive, all of it. All of it's there. And you can see they split existing biomes down. It was all shifted around to actually make it fit together and make sure this was ready for production and can go out so everybody can enjoy the Subnautica 2 game. But the publishers are like, that's not going to happen, boss. You're going to wait and not get your bonus. We don't care that you rushed to get this finished. We don't care that it's ready for early access. We're going to just nuke this entire thing right now. And we can take a review at the 2025 milestone recommendations, and we can see here that they have the biomes, they have regions, they have creatures, they have leviathans, they have all the equipment, it looks like they're planning 10 chapters of the game, and they've got enough to do exactly what they've done since the first Subnautica release, and that's put out the early access, let people have fun. It's still going to be, hours and hours and hours of fun and building and all sorts of things, but they're like, no, we want to do more. We want you to release more. And I gotta say, there are a lot of people who complain that there wasn't enough to do in Subnautica 1 and Below Zero, but people still did play it a lot and spent a lot of time on it because, honestly, the world is absolutely massive. And when you're swimming and everything slows down and you've got to be careful where you build, how you go about things, and how you get resources, the 10 hours is probably just actually the storyline chapter and not the actual gameplay and searching and building. So I gotta say, I'm kind of at the point where I believe that the publisher just screwed these people out of $250 million. And I'm gonna be honest, if I made a game and someone said, push this out by 2025 and we'll give you $250 million, I would absolutely do everything I could to push the game out for early access. And we're going to jump over to another article here where the publisher themselves actually do say, yes, this is a real document. So anybody who wants to jump in here and say, that's not real, there's no proof. The document that has been circulating on social media and reported by various outlets is indeed part of an internal milestone review conducted as part of the Subnautica 2 project. Krafton has confirmed that portions of it have been leaked and is now being widely shared across online platforms and within the fan community. Krafton recognizes the confusion that this has caused. Milestone reviews are conducted regularly in collaboration with Krafton's creative studio across all the projects, blah, 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 corporate speak, corporate speak, corporate speak. These reviews help assess development progress, define clear objectives, and ensure that each project aligns with Krafton's standards in both creativity and quality. More bullshit corporate speak. This process is central to Krafton's commitment to delivering polished, high-quality games at the right time. So most of that corporate speak, the only thing that matters is delivering polished, high-quality games at the right time. Well, apparently the right time wasn't 2025 where they had to pay out the developers for completing their job early. It was after 2025 where they didn't have to pay out the bonuses and all the employees that just busted their asses to get this done early get told to go fuck themselves. That's really just what happened. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? It's like a lolly dressed to impress. No, thank you. Then again, we are on IGN. I don't know what I expected other than to see some degenerate shit. But anyway, yeah, so honest to God, looks like the publisher promised a giant bonus to the company if they finished early. And then when they were about to finish early, said, "Nuh-uh, you're all fired, have fun." So I gotta say, this is one of the worst things that, I mean, Helldivers 2 just keeps coming to mind, where Sony was like, yeah, we're gonna publish your game. By the way, you're doing fantastic, so let's get those numbers down. But I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts in the comment section because this one's absolutely crazy. But while you're there, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this one out. Until the next one, guys, be easily sleazy.